Hello everybody and welcome back. Last time we reached the Apogee Islands and we began the exploration of Aqua Rock. Today we're going to finish up Aqua Rock and see what lies deep within. So first off, we have a Synergy Stone, so I'm going to take this opportunity to heal up. There we go. And right here we have another of the Aqua Stones that we can't reach, but also, if you notice, on the ground and on the small platform right here, we have a line which actually forms a circuit, and that will come into play later. But for now, we have to take the path to the right. And let's go through here. So the intersection of Aqua Rock isn't as big as Air Rocks, but it is kinda big, so I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as possible. Here I'm going to, let's push this all the way so we can get to that chest. And similar to Air Rock, we also have the holes in the walls which spew out the gas. Have a few returning enemies, nothing new here. Let's get through this as quickly as possible. And she level up, and she learned Resist, which boosts the entire party elemental resistance by 20 points. So a pretty useful synergy. And we got a Bile also. Alright, let's continue on. And right here, so pretty simple, we just have to push the stump to block the giant Moai head. And even though the floor itself is already flooded and there's no real way for the water to escape, somehow it disappears. Alright, let's quickly use Frost on the paddles. No, there. Oh, almost there. So, on the subject of Aqua Rock, way back when we first gained access of the Lemurian ship, I mentioned that if you hadn't obtained the Reveal synergy by now, it would be a good moment to do it. And I also said that out of all the dungeons that become available throughout the Great Eastern Sea, there's only one that does not require Reveal. And I just realized that that is technically not true, unless I add that every mandatory dungeon. Because, for example, Taupo Swamp does not require Reveal, and if you consider that a dungeon, then yeah. But back to Aqua Rock. This is the only mandatory dungeon throughout the whole Great Eastern Sea that does not require Reveal. So, if you don't have Reveal, you can do Aqua Rock. But as for all the others, you will need it at least in one point in particular. The enemies here do give a decent amount of experience, so Aqua Rock is not a bad place to grind, but there is a far better one in my opinion, which we'll see soon enough. Anyways, right here I went down to this path to get the item, but we're actually going to go up. And even though we mostly run into enemies that we fought on the exterior section of Aqua Rock, there are actually two enemies that are unique to the interior section, so hopefully they will appear soon enough. Alright. Okay, here we are back at the Aqua Stone. Let's use those. And here we have yet another way in which the Aqua Stones can be used. By drawing a circuit on the floor, we can actually walk on the water. And this is basically a hint as to how most of the puzzles in Aqua Rock will function. Well, speaking of new enemies, we got both of them at once. First off, we have the Sea Dragon. It is level 24, it has 270 HP, no synergy, 231 attack, 68 defense, 90 agility and 14 luck. It has a Venus elemental resistance and a Jupiter resistance of 100, a Mars resistance of 25, and a Mercury resistance of 175, and a Mercury elemental power of 115. It normally yields 257 experience points, which then become 334 if we finish it off with a Mars gem. It drops 194 coins, which then become 252, and there's a 1 in 64 chances that then become a 1 in 16 that it will drop an Unicorn Ring, which we already have, and it is an artifact that can cure poison. As for its commands, it has the basic attack and the Water Breath monster skill, which is a Mercury based attack with a power rating of 100. And the other enemy, which is actually a returning enemy from the first game, is the Lizard Fighter. It is also level 24, it has 212 HP, no synergy, 204 attack, 61 defense, 60 agility and 2 lag. It has a Venus and Jupiter resistance of 100, a Mars resistance of 72, and a Mercury resistance of 127, and a Mercury elemental power of 100. It normally yields 89 experience points, which then become 115 if we finish it off with a Mars gem. It drops 124 coins, which then become 161, and there is a 1 in 16 chances that then become a 1 in 4 that it will drop a Nut. And it has the very same commands as the Sea Dragon. Right, so we finally just both of them at once. We have them here. So let's quickly take care of them. And there we go. Let's just use move right here. And there we are. Alright. There we have a grayed out Moai head. And first we have to line up the circuit and then use those on the head and then the stone. Actually, I should set up a shortcut for those. There we go. And there we go. Okay, we're making progress here. Here we have a room that is quite similar to the one in Air Rock. We have a synergy crystal that looks exactly the same, but we can't reach it quite yet. Let's quickly take care of all of these. That should be more than enough. Alright. Alright, here we have another one of those rooms with water streaming down. Nothing that we haven't seen before. And we got a unicorn ring. How lucky. Anyway, right here. I want to drop down here so I can push the stump to the right so that we can get to that chest, which contains a tear stone. So this is our fourth tear stone, and if we happen to take it to Sunshine, and if he were to turn it into a pure circlet, I think that was the name, we would have obtained every single item that can be forged from the tear stone. But anyways, so there's a room here. We can't do anything yet, but I do want to show it. We have a giant wall of water, and here, give me a moment, as I was saying, here we have a column. It is a column with a spot where you can place something. So that is a hint for an item that we will be obtaining soon enough. And there we have a chest that is underneath the water, so we can get it. For now, let's take the path on the left. Alright. And similar to the other room we encountered, we just have to activate the giant head and we can just hop across the platforms. Alright. We can't go through there because of the stump, so we have to take this route. And right here we can arrange the blocks here in two possible ways. One way will allow us to proceed and the other one will allow us to get the item that is inside that chest. So I'm going to do that one first. And it all depends on how you place that frozen block in the middle. Alright, here we got a Water of Life. So, even though we now have access to synergies like the Revive, the Water of Life item is still pretty useful, especially if you give it to any adept that does not have any means of reviving other characters. But anyways, now that we reset the room, let's just rearrange this by pushing it all the way to the left. And there we go. Alright. And now we can move the stump out of the way. And we have yet another one. Alright, so we can take the path to the right or the path up. We actually want to go up because we can't do anything if we go right. Alright. Actually this is the wrong way. And so is this one, sorry. Alright. Okay, and this room right here is possibly... No, not possibly. It is the toughest of all the puzzle rooms in Aqua Rock. Not to say that it is difficult, it's really not. But it is the most complex that the water circuit puzzle can get. Sorry. Also, last episode I mentioned that the item shop NPC, if you read her mind, she will mention the name Garapas, which is the Japanese name for the Aboji Island. Following on that comparison to a real world place, the Aqua Rock is supposed to be based on I may be mistaken, a mountain or a volcanic mountain that is also found in the Galapagos Island called Cerro Azul, which can be translated to Blue Mountain, or so it's kind of the basis for the name Aqua Rock. Alright. I believe I got it right? Yeah. For a moment I was scared that I actually got it wrong. Alright. We're making progress there. We're almost near the end. Let's push this. We don't want to go down there because there's nothing for us right now. up here, and we were caught by surprise. Alright, there we go. And right there we have yet another chest. Let's see what's in it, shall we? And here we have yet another mimic, the fourth mimic in the game. This one is level 27. It has 676 HP, 62 synergy, 240 attack, 66 defense, 145 agility, and 17 luck. Its resistances are the same for every single mimic, and it has a Venus elemental power of 95. It normally yields 760 experience points, which then become 988 if we finish it off with a margin. It drops 531 coins, which then become 690, and it has a guaranteed drop of a potion. As for its commands, it has the basic attack, the debilitate, side drain, and sleep synergies, and its new ability or new move is the wild growth synergy, which is a Venus based attack with a power rating of 110. It has a cost of 19 synergy and a range of 5. Alright, so it will not run away, so let's try and get the EXP boost on this one. Alright, it's 150, let's say. 280. 400. Give or take. Just to be safe, let's start using all the gene and let's start boosting Jenna. And there we have Wild Growth. Quite a lot of damage on Jenna and Sheva. That, yeah, I did not think that would kill him, but Cannon should take him out. And just to be safe. Alright. Yep, there we go. 988 and Pierce level up. 690 and our potion, of course. So let's quickly put this back and let's heal up. Alright. We are approaching the end, and we're back at the room with the giant synergy stone. Wait, yeah, we're all healed up, so let's restore our synergy, and we're done. And here we are. We have yet another aqua stone. Actually, before I forget, here we have some lucky pepper. And we actually go right here, and if you check that door right below, we're actually right above the inner chamber of Aqua Rock. And here we have the Aquarius stone. So let's quickly inspect that. The stone that leads to Chosen One. So yeah, that is actually the item that we need to place on that column that we saw a while back. So let's head there as quickly as possible. Alright, Felix level up, nice. Yeah, down here. This should take us back to the central room, which can then lead us to the other room with the giant wall of water. Yeah, here we are. Alright, here we are. And now we do get the prompt to open our inventory. So let's place the Aquarius stone. And now we can finally proceed towards the inner chamber. And there we have another tablet. Wielder of water strength, lay your hands upon this stone. If thou art worthy, the power to drain away the standing water shall be yours. Water strength, huh? That sounds like my sort of thing, doesn't it? Pierce tried to touch the stone slate. Pierce learned Parch. What went wrong? What are we going to do, Felix? Maybe our power is being tested. Alright, so yeah, this is our opportunity to try out our new synergy. Parch, evaporate standing water. And it is quite an odd one, as you'll see. Alright, so the odd thing about Parch, at least to me, is that it is supposed to be a mercury-based synergy. Obviously, since we get it at Aqua Rock and only Pierce can learn it. And yet, the way it functions, the way it is shown, it makes it look as though whoever's using it, will have to be Pierce, is applying an immense amount of heat to, you know, evaporate the water. But if that were the case, that would make it more of a Mars synergy. That would be more of a synergy that Jenna would have to learn. Because Pierce, at least on its own, cannot create fire or heat or anything of the sort. But anyways, now we can finally get that chest, which contains a rusty sword. So, similar to the rusty axe that we got on the Great Eastern Sea, we can also take this to Sunshine to turn it into a new weapon. I'm not going to wait until we revisit the town of Yalam, so I'm going to quickly go over the new weapon that we would obtain from the rusty sword. The Rover's Blade has an attack boost of 101, its unleash is called Shred, it deals 33 extra Mars damage and it may reduce a target's defense by 25%. Alright, so right here, this is actually a shortcut to get to the exterior section of Aqua Rock. But before we leave, we have one more thing to do. And in order to do that, we have to take the path to the right. Alright. So, if we go up through here, right here. So we have yet another room with a huge amount of flowing water, but that's actually something quite useful for us if we go to the top. There we have it, right there we have a mercury gem, and now that we have Parch, we can evaporate the water and we can get to it. There we go. Alright. So of course it is hostile, so it's usually a good idea to save. But let's see. Here we go. Here we have Steam. It is level 24. It has 620 HP, 56 synergy, 192 attack, 54 defense, 159 agility, and 19 luck. Its resistance and power are the same as for every Mercury gem. It yields 571 experience points, which then becomes 742 if we finish him off with a Mars gem. He drops 457 coins, which then become 594. And as for his commands, he has a basic attack, the Frost Sphere, Ice Horn, Super Cool, Hail Prism and Glacier synergies, and of course the Flee command. And we get to go first, which is very useful. So let's see if I can get the damage boost on him, the EXP and coin boost on him. I'm going to see if I can put him to sleep with Waft, and then why not lower its resistance with Sour. 100. Alright, great. Right, the resistance is down. Alright, so I'm going to use Char and then boost up Jenna. Hopefully that should be enough. It is quite fast. It is actually faster than Sheva, so he might run away if I don't take him out now. But I did. Great. And Sheva level up. And Jenna found the gene, the Mercury gene, Steam. Alright, so let's quickly go over our new friend. So, Steam. His battle effect is that it boosts the entire party's elemental resistance by 40 points. And as for the set stat bonus that it provides, it gives a plus 10 to your base HP and plus 5 to your base attack. So we got our 6th Mercury gene. But unfortunately, due to the number of gene that we have on hand, nobody can carry 6. Which is a real shame, because if Pierce were able to hold 6 Mercury gene, he would not only reach a new rank in the Mariner class, but he will also unlock the final synergy that he is missing, the upgraded version of Diamond Dust. So for now we're going to have to hold on to that gene until we get at least enough that everyone has 5 of their respective genes. But with that we are pretty much done with Aqua Rock. There's nothing else for us to do here. Let's just use retreat one more time. Alright, so before I end up the video, last time I mentioned that we have been exploring mostly this section of the Great Eastern Sea, which is technically not entirely true. We still have to explore the icy continent at the very south. So before I end up the video, I want to head to the small island right here. Usually, whenever you have a small island near any big amount of landmass, you can obtain some bits of interesting information, as we did with the North Oceania islet. So I'm going to cut to a point where I'm right near the small island right here. I'll see you guys in a moment. Alright, welcome back. And here we are, near the small island. So let's see what's in it, shall we? Here we are at the East Tundaria Islet. So, as always, if we want to get as much information as we need, it's good to have a shortcut for mind read on hand. My mom says there's this strange tower on the northern cape of Tundaria. Who in the world would have built a tower in the middle of that frozen nowhere? Interesting. Let's speak with everyone here. Actually, before that, there's a hidden item right here. We got a lucky medal. Used to be, you could sail to the other side of Gondwana by skirting the coast of Tundaria. Now, the whole area's got these rocky spires. You just can't work a boat around them. Tundaria is the southernmost continent in the world. I hear that if you head east far enough, there's an incredible waterfall at the edge of the Eastern Sea. It sounds like Hukon to me. So he's talking about the Gaia Falls. We know they're no Hukon. You must be cold, dressed in those thin clothes. Come warm yourselves by the fire. Around here, it doesn't matter what season it is always the cold season. I can't even go outside without first covering myself in fur. Alright. So we now have a bit more information regarding the continent of Tundaria. We know that there seems to be a strange tower somewhere in the middle of it, so that's going to be our next destination. But before I end up the video, I'm going to quickly do the small jumping section, which is probably the worst in the entire game, because these platforms move really slow. Don't jump onto that one we just saw, that is a trap. Anyway, right here. We have two penguins, a yellow one and a pink one. And the pink one it looks like it's dead, but as you can see if you read the mind of the yellow one, my darling Pengulina hurt her leg on the far shore and can't swim back. Somebody, please help her. So yeah, the reason that she's not moving is that she's apparently hurt. Oh, my leg! I cannot get back to my dearest Pengus. Alright, so this is quite odd. Even though we already cleared the path for the yellow penguin to walk through, we have to push her all the way. Actually, one moment. I want to quickly get rid of one item. You'll see why in a moment. There we go. Right, so let's push her all the way. Right here. Thank you so much for saving my sweet Pengulina. Allow me to give you this in return for your help. And we got a pretty stone. And we gave it to Sheba. Alright, so the pretty stone. A shining stone, so it doesn't seem like a very important item, but it is actually the very first item in the trading side quest that you can do throughout the Great Eastern Sea. I'm not going to do any more. I'm not going to continue talking about the trading side quest because right now, even though we got the first item and we can advance a little bit through the side quest, we don't have the means to complete it. So I'm going to keep the pretty stone on my inventory for now. So we finished Aqua Rock, we got the Parch synergy, and we now have a hint as to where to explore in the continent of Tundaria. So next time we're going to explore Tundaria and see if we can find that strange tower. See you guys